Welcome to this video on the Aluminator 2, the unboxing and assembly. So we're going to be working with Christopher Bland, CEO for Powerwash.com, and Alan Torres, our assembly guy here who does a lot of assembling. If you're buying something from us, he's usually involved with it at some point or another. But these guys are going to start taking all the parts out of the box, setting aside, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we're going to do in this video, why they're doing that. So I think the great thing about this video is if you just got this, first I want to say thank you for purchasing from us. We're really proud of this product. It comes with a lifetime warranty. It's aluminum and stainless steel, and it's 316 stainless steel, not 304, which is fairly commonly used. That does corrode. This is highly corrosive resistance, which means bolting together or taking this apart at some future point is going to be easy for you if you have to. If you have to do some assembly or something on your truck skid. These truck skids I am so proud of. They are super strong, very durable. Otherwise we wouldn't offer this lifetime warranty. So as I go through this and explain the parts, the unboxing, you can stop and start this video as you do the same thing. We want it to be very easy for you. I'm going to tell you, if you have someone working with you, I bet you can get this thing assembled in less than an hour. I'm not talking about putting your equipment on there, but I am talking about getting it assembled, ready for your equipment mounting. All right, so now we've taken all the parts out of the box. We have the base plate here. This is what you're gonna make mounting everything to. Over here. Here are the two tool shelves that came with this particular unit. We have the upright supports for the ladder rack. There are 4 of them. And then the ladder rack itself, there are 2 parts here. This is the front tank support and the rear tank support here. This will go up against the cab, and this will go behind the tanks to hold the tanks in place. So what I recommend you do when you get everything out is to save the top pieces that came off the box. We're going to put those back on there, put the base plate on, and then start assembling the unit. So just go ahead and place the tops that came on this shipping crate. Put that back on top of it. This definitely makes it a lot easier to assemble when you've got the base plate on top of the shipping crate. You don't have to bend down as far. It's easier to get to all the bolt holes and stuff that are on the unit. So let's talk about what we're going to have in the hardware box. So this will come with all the hardware inside here, and it'll be labeled. It'll have nicer labels than what we have here. These are all written on. But we have, so it'll come with a drill bit to drill out your holes, some extra bolts, and then it's going to have the base plate bolt, the receiver bolts that will go for the ladder rack, the pins to hold the ladder rack in place because the ladder rack is adjustable, and then we'll have the bolt holes that go at the front of the skid to hold on the tank support, front tank support, and then the non-tank support bolts that will hold the shelves on as well. So these are your shelves. This is your base plate. These are extra bolts. And then these are the pins for the ladder rack. So let's start putting this together. All right, so let's talk about all the parts you have. And I recommend you kind of lay this out similar to what we have done here, because it kind of gets things in place so you know that when you start putting it together, you're putting it in the right position. And if you notice, like on the ladder racks, it has a B for the bottom, a T for the top, and then they're color coded. And if you happen to be colorblind, that's the reason why there's letters on there. B for bottom, T for top. And if you go to the base plate and you align the stickers, now as you go to the base plate and align the stickers, you've got the B and the B, slide it through, and you want these to go where they're like, if they could touch, they would touch. So that's how we do it. This is what happens if it goes wrong. it doesn't align. You definitely want to do it like this. It goes in there. All right, now I'm going to have Christopher and Alan start putting things together, and they're going to start walking them over as I describe what they're doing. So the first thing that we're putting together now is going to put all the bottom supports for the ladder rack in place. And I want you to note that the labels on these two ladder racks are for the front tank support. The rear tank support will have holes in it as well, because that's just how it's put together. So let's go ahead and put the let's go ahead and set the top of the ladder rack. Doesn't matter what order we do it in, but let's go ahead and do the front support for the tank, because we have the lettering system here. So now I'll show you here that these are labeled as well, and we want to match those up. So that'll go with orange, or I'm sorry, that's not orange. I sound like I'm colorblind now. So this is yellow to yellow and green to green. And in this position, this is what I would say you don't want to do, because these ridges are against the tank. So this one actually happens to be, we would want to do it like this. So let's go ahead and bolt that together. That is going to be with our sack that says rear tank support and ladder uprights. So these are the longer bolts. Okay, now that you got the ladder rack supports in place, you want to run the bolt in, but you don't want it tight. You just want to put the bolt and the nut on there. So Christopher and Alan, why don't you go ahead and put the bolt and nuts on there, but don't tighten it up. The reason you don't want to tighten it up is because you want to be able to move this around as we get ready to put this front tank support. And these are the bottom base plates. So that's what Christopher and Alan are putting on now. They're going to start putting that together. Do not tighten this fully. Again, just put them in place and why don't we grab Alan putting it in down there, just get a close up on it. He's got one washer on one side of it and one washer on the other side. Okay, Alan, do it again over here. Wait, let's wait for her. Make sure you got a washer on one side with the bolt, slide it through, and then the other side put that washer on, and then put the nut on there, and just do it finger tight. You don't want any tighter than that. So now we're going to put the ladder racks on now, and again, these are color coded, and we had this together earlier. Woo-wee, that's loud. So it'll have a red, and this had a green sticker on it, and it came off, but I'll show you real quick how this is going to go. So again, lining up the red on a red sticker, we're sliding it down into the hole and just set it there, and you're going to have to do some little adjusting to get it to where you want. Let's pull out ladder rack pins. There you go, Christopher. Now we got that pinned in place. And now the beauty of this is that you can raise it up and down to adjust to the cab height of your truck. And there's plenty of spots in here to put it, so get it where you want it. Get as much space as you need, or get as close to the cab as you like. Very easy to do. One thing you want to keep in mind is as you're putting this in place is that playing with these here, because it's a very tight tolerance, it may take a little work to get it down in there. And if you notice when I said earlier that we took the sticker off this base of the ladder rack, it's because it got so tight inside here, we took the sticker off. So now we just want to put it in place.
That's like a straighter hole to me.
Does it?
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, so the ladder rack's in. We're going to put together the front side of the tool shelf, which is the rear tank support. So we've got the 4 bolts here, and I'm gonna hand these out. We're gonna do 2 sets there. We're gonna do the 2 set back here. And then I'm gonna lay the rear tank support or tool shelves bolts on the back side. There you go, Christopher. I'm gonna lay these back here.
Now we're ready to put on here.
Yep.
Make life easier for.
Yep, go ahead and just take the nuts off of them so you're ready to assemble once you get it in place. Okay, so at the front is where we're going to put the front tank support, and we have the bag labeled for that. There's going to be 4 bolts and nuts inside here with the washers, appropriate washers. So I'm going to lay that down there, and I've already pulled these apart and set them up. So once we get this in place, it's easy to assemble. And then on the back side, where there is no tank support, this is the non-tank support ladder right, upright. These are shorter bolts, so you want to make sure that you put these where they're supposed to go and don't use them on the front because they won't fit. You'll be there all day trying to get it to work. And you don't want to use them on the base plate either, because then these will be too long and those will be too short for the base plate. Make sure you follow the labeling. All right, so now as we get ready to put this in place, notice that we have the green, the yellow, on this side, it faces in. We also have the red and blue, which will be same thing here, and it'll be labeled as the rear tank support RTSB. We're gonna set those in place, and then we're just gonna slide the bolts in on both sides. Let me get this up just a little bit. There we go. Put those all the way through. We're going to do the same thing on the back part of the skid. That's the again, that's on the ladder upright. So now they're ready. So now we're ready to receive the side shelf on both sides. Now, Christopher and Alan, go ahead and lift this up. This is where it becomes more of a 2-man job. If you're going to do it by yourself, I recommend that you don't put in the bottom bolt. Leave that out and start with the top bolt. But definitely, this is the spot where I'm gonna hold it in place for you, Christopher, where you can get that in place. Slide that on, and then put. Now again, we just left that finger tight. Now we're going to do the other side and put that tool support. I call it tool shelf. You can call it equipment shelf, however you want to refer to it. But now we're going to put this side on. And once we put this side on, then we're ready to tighten everything down. So let's get that done. And now, like this thing is really solid. Last thing we got to do is just tighten up these bottom bolts, and then we're good to go. So Christopher Allen, go ahead and do that. And now we still have the front tank support, which is right over here. Let me pick that up. Now the front tank support, this is one of our earlier runs. We will no longer have this small of a support bracket here. It's actually gonna be more like this, 2 inch by 2 inch by an inch, basically. Or that might be 3 inches actually. I don't remember measurements that well. And then this will go right across there to support your front tank. And it will come. This is where you'll have your drill bit, because we don't know what size tank you're going to put in there. Then you got your bolts in here to be able to bolt it together. So once you get your tank in place, take your support, put it here, drill it out, and you're good to go. This one is actually made for a 4 foot by 41.5 inch base plate. This one's a 6 foot by 4 foot. You also get the 5.5 by 4 foot or the 8 foot by 4 foot. And just as a reminder, these tool shelves will support anywhere on this. It kind of seems backwards, but because a shorter shelf is going to support more weight, it'll go up to 1,100 pounds. And when you get all the way up to the 8 foot, 750 pounds. So just keep in mind, these are super strong. They're gonna real quick, you can see it's not going anywhere. And just make sure you don't overweight it. But honestly, I can't imagine you putting over 750 pounds on one of these tool shelves. And once you get all your equipment mounted on here, you're not gonna be able to lift it by hand or anything. It does have cutouts for forklift support. There's a support down the middle to make this very strong so you can lift it and slide it into the back of a truck, and you'll be in great shape. All right, and what's really cool about this is that this is actually fairly light without equipment on it, so you can pick it up and move it wherever you want to go and get ready to stage it. So that is the Aluminator 2, how to assemble it. I hope you like this video. If you have comments or suggestions, we'd love to hear them. Put them in the comments below. And if you haven't ordered one, man, you need to get one. These things are bad. So look forward to hearing from you. I'm Mike Kinderlight in Power Wash. I want to say thank you to Christopher Bland, Alan Torres, and our camera guy, Mr. Joe Jackson. JJ, welcome aboard, our new team member. So there we go.